I think the onboarding itself, it was born by necessity or coincidence.
The customers say, hey, I like your product and I would like to use it, but you never know how, in which way they want to use it.
It's a typical, programmer-driven development. Technically we can produce podcasts, and once a day you will have a podcast that will have 200 articles.
Also, our first calls we have with our customers are not like super typical sales. It's always more like understanding the problem, why they want to use our product.
And this is something that works, but to be honest, not many people use it.
Bottalk Podcast.
My name is Andrey.
And my name is Sophia.
And we are from the startup Bottalk. Bottalk makes text-to-speech software. And in this podcast, we try to show you our journey as a young startup, our doubts, sometimes our wins, our falls, and so on. And we really like to hear feedback as well. So in this episode, we have, I think, 1.5 topics. We had this onboarding of the customer earlier this morning, and we thought that it would be great to take this as an example how we onboard the customers, why do we do that, and what product ideas can be born outside of this onboarding. Okay, so I think the first question is, it was not the first onboarding that we did together with you, Sophia. So what are your insights? How do you find? Is it useful? What are your thoughts on this process at all?
Yes, I think it was like the third or fourth onboarding with you together. But always, so Andrey is always showing the whole platform and all features and explained it, and also always on the side what the customers want. So it's not every time the same onboarding we done. It's always different and personalized for the customers. And it's always that every time I'm getting also some new insights from it, because you're always explaining some new stuff. And it's for me also, it's really good to get to know our features better, because our features are like, you can use them super different for the customers, what they really want. And I think it's really useful for our customers when we really see, okay, they have in mind they want to do like some special stuff, and then they ask us, okay, how can I do this with your platform, and which feature would be great for us? And I think this is really useful for our customers, that we always can like serve them like a customized product then in this onboarding stuff.
Yeah, true. I think the onboarding itself, it was born by necessity or coincidence. I don't know if we read it somewhere or whatever, but our thinking process in the beginning was, okay, we will write those documentations or documentation and onboarding tutorials, and then it will be perfect. But with bigger customers, we notice now that it is really helpful to kind of make this first call with the product manager or IT guys or whatever together, because there are always stuff inside of this onboarding that either we forgot to mention in our documentation, or just plain, as you say, ad hoc things that come to mind during the onboarding process. So some of the things catch more attention by some clients, and some other things catch less attention. So I always try to kind of do it in 2 ways. The reason why I personally do it every time and not try to outsource it to you is that I want to know and feel. It's more like a feeling. What are the features that I shown on this during this onboarding that really catch attention or imagination of the client? And at the beginning, we didn't have all the features ready at Bottalk. So we launched like, I don't know, there were features mentioned, but they didn't work. So it was like really fake it till you make it moment. And during the onboardings there, I was trying to kind of get the feeling, okay, is this feature like worth developing at all? Until that day, we have things that are there in like very rudimentally implemented, like very bare bone implementation of stuff. For example, Alexa things, Alexa skills through our platform. So publishers can basically say, okay, we want to produce Alexa skill out of the audified articles that we have in the project, right? And this is something that works, but to be honest, not many people use it. And the reason for that is, nobody asked for that during the onboarding. When we showcase it and say, okay, this is a player and so on and so forth, but you still have an Alexa if you want, and I just measure kind of the response, and we never get requests, except for today.
Yeah, it's always different because before we have this onboarding, like the customers say, hey, I like your product and I would like to use it, but you never know in which way they want to use it and where's their focus or where their needs. And I think this is like really good to also get a feeling for like the product and the customers, what they really need and want for our next steps where we're going to focus on. So for example, with the Alexa skill, that no one is like gonna use it, then we can like put it more on the side and say, okay, maybe it's not our focus at the moment to develop this feature further, and also we can get like really good insights from this view.
Yeah, sure. And as I said before, so things like product ideas or feature ideas just come up. So I think that's very helpful to kind of really understand the customer need and really understand their business. For example, today it was once again very important to understand how the paywall of the customer works. We know this customer. This customer has been with us a long time, but now they're scaling up and they want to introduce more websites. And their business model is a traditional publisher in Germany with lots and lots of regional newspapers. And their business model is obvious. They want to generate subscribers. And so the feature that we have inside of the project settings is that there's a simple checkbox where you can basically say, okay, read 2 paragraphs for free, and then read the call to action so the listener would convert. So when the user comes to a website and the user doesn't have a subscription, he or she just hears 2 paragraphs and the call to action, please subscribe to hear the article in full. And to actually validate that it's still the same with them and nothing changed in the basic logic is very important. And also I think one of the questions today was about statistics and how if they can create like a free articles inside of the paywall enabled project and stuff like that. And that's where I fail to kind of see how we can provide the documentation for everyone because the landscape is so different. Some of the publishers have metered paywall, meaning readers will come to the website and see like 5 articles for free in this month, and then there'll be every article will have a paywall. Some of them have this registration wall, so it's like a soft paywall. So they see more if they register for the newsletter and stuff like that, and all the combinations of the above. Some of them have some of the articles that are shown to all the customers in full length, but those articles are not like high quality articles. It's very complicated. So and we try to be like agnostic to whatever we do, and try to focus on the best text-to-speech quality, the best quality of speech that we can deliver. But even focusing on that is, hard not to kind of get into the details of the customer implementation. So I think for us, it's very valuable to have these onboardings, and I think it's a really good thing that we have them. And personally, I love them very much. I mean, it's a way to actually. Usually it's when the contract is either signed or is in the signing process. So this thing is cleared. So and we know that it's not directly sales call. So they already signed a contract, but it's a kind of a customer satisfaction call to kind of show them. And I love it very much, because in the sales call you need to you need to address the skepticism of the client, right? You need to say, oh yeah, but it's not decided yet. When the sale is done, it's much more comfortable for me as a product person to say, and now let me show you what a great product you bought, and what are the great features that we have, and so on.
Yeah, sure. Me personally, I always don't really like the super typical sales call, and I think also our first calls we have with our customers are not like super typical sales. It's always more like understanding the problem, why they want to use our product, and going more from this side. And it's also for me way more comfortable than this kind of calls, showing them more our product and saying, hey, you can use everything and it's working like this. And if it's like more convincing them that we have like a good product and not just like selling them, try to sell everything, every feature, every add-on we have, and that we're going more like, okay, we have this license, just try it, you can take it for one month for free, just try everything, and when you feel it's really good, you like it, then we can go further. It's more like, I really like this process, how we're gonna do this.
Yeah. And basically the first calls, the best calls that actually deliver the contracts are also onboarding calls. So the best way is when we already cleared either what the reasoning behind using our product is, or that the actually the product people are in the call. Either the product people or like CEOs or whatever of the companies that are really interested in real product things. And that's why I think the best way to sell is actually to show your product, and in the end of the day, the product decides. So if you have a good product, then it will sell itself. And that's why, for example, how to scale this onboarding, first sale, whatever, upsale, whatever thing is. This week we try to integrate the customer success software inside of Bottalk. It's called Crisp. It starts as a simple kind of chat button on the website. Can I help you? And if you have any questions and so on. But as I showed on the team meeting this week, it does much more than that. It really you can do stuff like, okay, let me onboard you with the client seeing my mouse inside of their inside of our software, so I can show and click what to do. And that's something that I'm really looking forward to work with, and maybe even scale the process of onboarding for smaller clients. For the clients that either have not decided yet, or just a smaller publisher, or even a blog. Because I think if we can scale it up, what we are doing in the calls, in this 1 hour, 1.5 hour calls of onboarding that we did today, if we can scale it up to the earlier deciders, so earlier in the funnel, that would really, really help us. Because we get all the feedback that is very rewarding, but also daunting. Is people, when they get the platform, they say, "Yeah, it's great," but when they first log in into the platform, it's just overwhelming. It's so many features, it's so many little aspects, and we try to do it as intuitively as we can, but still. Still we are learning. So, to make that kind of interactive experience with that you maybe can take someone by the hand and say, let me just show you through. It's not that scary. I think that's the thing that I'm looking for. Yeah.
Yeah, it's also really important for our product because, as I said, you can use our features super differently, depends on what the customer wants. And also I had like a little call this week with another customer. They are like in the testing phase, and they just had like a question from 5 minutes because they didn't know how to implement the web player on their website. And they said like, yeah, we take this one code, but it didn't work. And like, sorting out this kind of question, it was be like too complicated via mail. And then I directly thought about like this little Chris, what you said. Then if I had this, he could just like chat me, and I can directly go on his screen and show it to him. And now, yeah, we set up a call and then we make a screen share. It was like possible, but with this feature with the Chris, it would be way easier to be like quicker in the customer support, and then they can like go on and like their onboarding and testing. Exactly.
And I think the second topic that we can like dive deeper is, sometimes it's not only explaining of the existing features that is interesting insight that you take away from onboarding, but also ideas about new features or development of the existing features. Like today, we had this call and everything is going fine, and then we stumble upon this feature that Bottalk has, and the feature is called playlists. And the playlist is a really great feature inside of Bottalk, and what it does is it collects. So our web player is just a small widget on the publisher's website, just a small button. Let me listen to this article, right? But inside of this small widget, there's like a lot going on in the background. So, for example, this button itself can parse the whole website itself, so you don't need to implement like any API or whatever. It just parses your website. It parses away everything that is not text, and it's smart enough to decide, okay, if you have like interstitials or banners inside of your article, it's smart enough to cut it all out and convert it automatically into very good human-sounding text, right? But also it collects all the user information, like how many people seen this player, how many people clicked, how long did they listen to, and so on and so forth. So we took this information and developed another feature that is called playlist, and the playlist is you can go ahead and create like a top 5 articles of the day, and this playlist will be automatically updated in real time, based on the statistics that we are collecting from the users. So basically, you can then put that playlist inside of the player and put it straight away on the landing page, on the main page of your publication. So it's just like a small podcast. And it will read one article after another article. And this particular client loved this feature so much that they straight away suggested a lot of interesting ideas. For example, but it looks like podcast, and can we put like some intro music before and some maybe change music between the articles and stuff like that, which was very insightful. And I think those kind of things are one thing led to another, And we said, yeah, we actually have this feature of intro music and outro music and change article music, but inside of the other feature that is called podcast. So you can take all of your articles and produce podcasts on the daily basis outside of Bottalk with one click. And during this discussion, we came up with completely new feature, right?
Yeah, that we want to create, just like taking these features we have on the podcast and combine it with a playlist player, which is like really smart when we have this playlist, and then we can just insert at the beginning a jingle, maybe between the articles something, and also at the end making like a little call to action. And we have all this stuff, and then we just need to combine it on our platform. Then it's just like kind of easy for us to creating some like nice and good stuff for our customers, because at the moment they are just separate and they're working, but it's not like perfectly. It's not that it's like the perfect fit at the moment. And I think this was like really helpful also for us to getting this. Okay, now we know. Okay, when we just combine it, then it would be like way better for our customers and to deliver like a more value to them, which is like really good.
Yeah, and I think this is a great example why the podcasting feature at the moment doesn't work. And the historical reason for that is that this is the feature that we developed ourselves. So we thought, okay, the customer might need a podcast, and so the podcast should have a title and category, and here's the artwork, and here's the description, everything you can do from Bottalk. The intro music and the changes between articles, everything is there. One small problem. We thought, yeah, we will just, customer will just publish everything that comes into their project once a day or whatever. The problem is the customers have like 200 articles inside of their project. So if you are like a mid-sized publisher, right? And this obviously doesn't make any sense for real customers. And programmer-driven development or feature development, and now versus customer-driven feature development. That's what we want to do now. So I say, okay, we have this nice feature, the top 5 or top 10, whatever, automatically updated articles, and we have this podcasting. Why that makes total sense to kind of not select all the articles, but just say, okay, this is the intro music and this is outro and so on, and this is the podcast that goes live automatically, but please take this playlist that is automatically updated and create an episode every day at, say, 5 o'clock, and that's it. And this is something that I'm really excited to brainstorm with our CTO to kind of develop this product together with this client. They want very much to develop it, and for us it's a great usage of both the features that we have and the tech that we have. Like, we have the podcast tech, we just don't have it the way normal people will use it. And then the story just develops and develops. For example, that could be not only podcast, that could be actually your Alexa skill, that could be your Google action that will actually make sense. Imagine calling the Alexa skill to for the latest news, and it will not be something that your editors put together every morning, but it's every time you call it, it's automatically the 5 top articles at the moment. So that's amazing. For me, it's just all this imagination for this feature, it just bubbles up, and I think it's very, very exciting to see those kind of ideas born outside of a simple, let me show you what buttons to click inside of our software platform. Yeah, definitely, and that's why I think we really need to, in the future, we also need to concentrate more on this kind of customer development things and also on the smaller scale. So when we build other products, for example, B2C product or product for like a podcast alone edition of Bottalk, that we really talk to the people that created that will be using, instead of trying to imagine what is technically possible. Because I think this is like the huge, at the moment, the huge USP, besides the fact that we really sound unbeatable in the markets. So Bottalk really produces the best quality of speech out there. But besides that, which is, quality of speech is like very subjective, right? It's very, I can hear the difference, and maybe some people that are not so affine and they in the space, they may say, yeah, but the difference is not that big. But besides that, is I think the fact that we started in this publishing market, and that we know the market so well, and that we work together with the accelerator program, and now we'll be working with another accelerator program, which is also with Stadium, which is also in the publishing space. I think this is a huge USP. That we understand the business of those guys and can really tailor those products. And to be honest, also not the publishers, but smaller blogs that use us can profit from it. Because if you are like a smaller publisher, if you have a blog and you just want to produce audio articles on your blog, well, all the features that Bottalk delivers were developed together with like bigger guys, with a huge development and product teams, like with 1,000 and 1,000 people of that were thinking about what are the best features for our readers. And when you come to Bottalk as a small blog and subscribe for like $49 a month, that's what you get. All these insights that were generated by big guys, you just get them for basically free. And this is what excites me, is that we can all profit from like development that we do together. And by the end of the day, we do that so that our vision will come to life. So the vision of Bottalk, that every written text should have an audio version. This is the vision that gets delivered if we work together with the publishers and think, what is the best way to put this audio in front of people. And audio, this playlist thing is one of these things. Of course you can click through different articles and listen, but what is the better way? Wouldn't you like to hear like the most popular articles right away as a playlist, which is like not 5 minutes long and not 2 minutes long as a typical article, but rather maybe 30 minutes long? That would be great. Just you take it for a walk or for your jogging routine and so on. So I think this is very exciting that we actually, by developing these small features, we're actually making the end product for the end customers, for the end readers and end listeners, even better.
Mm-hmm. So we can. They didn't have the chance to like getting all this good insight.
Yeah, of course, and it works also vice versa. So sometimes our bloggers have like great ideas, great insights into what to put into the product that maybe bigger publishers do not have or do not have courage to do so. And the feature that we have at the moment of audio advertisement, that was born for smaller guys, like for guys that do not have advertising, the whole advertising units. Because I was working in a publishing house and we had like huge advertising unit, right? So when we developed this feature, we thought, yeah, those guys will hunt their own advertisers and so on and so forth. They create their own product on top of Bottalk. So they will definitely have like their own advertising team that creates audio ads. So for the smaller guys, we need some kind of partner. So we partnered up with the best audio agencies inside of Germany, so we can deliver this audio advertising that is really great, and it just enabled in the Bottalk project with one click. But turns out that this feature is so popular not only among like small users, but also among big users, because many of the bigger publishers, I think, use this feature to measure how many people could actually be potentially there for their advertisement when they are so far that they create a custom product on top of it. So it makes sense to kind of test this feature because it's so easy to implement. It's just one click, and to measure how many people actually listen to those advertising. What size of an audience do I have? What is the hear-through rate of those, and take those numbers to your advertising department. Say, I have potentially so many listeners. For how much can you sell it, so that you can get the rates from this generic advertising that are much higher if you sell it yourself, but you already have data. Because in advertising, data is everything. Data is, you go to a customer and try to sell your advertisement, and the first thing that the customer will ask is, how many ears you actually have that will hear my advertising. So this is the example that the idea was born, vice versa. It was born from the small publisher and then kind of migrated to the bigger guys, and bigger guys are also happy. So yeah, that's I think that's a synergy effect that we have on the platform, and yeah.
Yeah, cool. Thank you very much, Andrey. I think I also learned a lot today about your insights and where we're going further and what learning you take from the last years or so. And I hope you also get cool insights and learn a lot from it. And yeah, follow us for the next episodes.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you very much as well for the questions, and it always makes sense to kind of maybe step back a bit and kind of think about our features and the history behind these features, and maybe try to share those history with our viewers and listeners. And to the viewers and listeners, please subscribe, share, and whatever to the podcast inside of iTunes and of course in YouTube. And if you have any questions, if you are trying to maybe bootstrap your startup, or you have already a startup, whatever, just write down in comments, and we'll be eager to kind of interact and answer your questions, or maybe mingle around and come up with ideas that could help you. Thank you.